What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drums Nation. What's up, guys? What's up, Geek Drums Nation? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be talking about The Flash Season 9, Episode 1. Yes, the very last season premiere we will have from this amazing show that we have loved for the past 9 years. Now, before we get started, if you are not subscribed, please do so. Hit that alert bell and like and share this video. Share it around to your friends, to your family, to whoever you want. Let's get this video some traction because I will be doing more reviews on this season. I will be reviewing all 13 episodes. They will all be put right here and we're going to have some fun with them, okay, guys? So let's jump right into it. Let's start off with the very first thing that I noticed from the very first scene, which was the now we know it was a nightmare sequence of Barry not being able to save Team Flash, most importantly, not being able to save Iris. He was fighting Tar Pit, and in that cinematic scene, Tar Pit, for one, looked amazing, which makes me wonder, where was this when we first saw Fuerza? And Fuerza looked like one of those parody account Hulks. Anywho, Tar Pit looked amazing. The new cinematic look of the show is like beautiful, chef's kiss. Loved it. I wish we could have gotten this seasons ago, but I mean, I understand why. The show looks amazing, guys, and nobody can take that away from them. The show looks amazing right now. It's pristine. I like the new aspect ratio with the two black bars on top, akin to the shows that we see on HBO Max. You know, the newer shows, Batwoman, Walker, uh, Superman and Lois. They may not be using those, special cameras that, Superman and Lois uses, but it's close to it and it's beautiful. It gives me crossover vibes because in the crossovers they also have different aspect ratios. Most recently, the one that I can remember is Crisis on Infinite Earths. So yeah, this looks amazing. I'm glad they went this route. It gives the show a some new life, some new energy into the show. It just looks beautiful, and I'm glad we saw Tar Pit again. It was a dream sequence Tar Pit, but we saw Tar Pit again. In that first scene, we find out that Barry has been having this nightmare, this recurring nightmare about not being able to save his friends, and rightfully so, because for the past 3 seasons, he's had to deal with, losing Iris to this random time sickness. Now we know this episode takes place a week after the big negative reverse flash fight with Thawne. This takes place a week after that, so they're trying to get back to normal. We also see Joe is training Cecile on her new telepathic powers that she developed, over a week ago. That came out of nowhere. So he's trying to train her. We see something's a little bit off with him after Chester says, she could be the most powerful member of Team Flash. That will always be reserved for Barry, though, especially after what he does at the end of this episode. But we'll get there. Well, first and foremost, Barry tells Iris about the map book and why the map book is so important to them and why he did that. She assumed that he time traveled. He didn't, though. He just chronicled his things from his travels in time and what Gideon knows. Now, me personally, I thought this book was a bad idea from the very first trailer. Why? Because time likes to mess with people, and we see that he tells Iris that she's gonna be pregnant in 3 months. No, at least no woman I know will want to be spoiled about when they're gonna become pregnant. I mean, you have to plan it to the T now. That's not something you really want to, ruin the, special moment of, if you get what I mean. And I understand Iris's apprehension to this idea of the book throughout this entire episode. And it took Joe explaining it to Barry later on in the episode for him to get it. And I'm glad we got that scene because I feel as if we've been missing a lot of Joe nuggets. That's what I like to call them, those little nuggets of wisdom that he imparts. And I am happy to say that he shared that scene with Cecile. Now, some of you guys are going to be like, "Oh my God, you're saying Cecile was good?" Yes, because if you remember back in season 5 when Joe wasn't there, when she had, you know, what would be written for Joe, she was great. And the fact that she shared this scene with him, it wasn't written cringy. It was written perfectly. I have to give my hands to the writing team for this episode, for this series opener, for the season opener, I should say. It was very, very, very well written, especially for a Groundhog Day style episode. When Joe told Barry that it was basically it's a fairy tale, it's a storybook. Yes, it's showing you that you're gonna have your happy ending. It's showing you the good stuff. It might even show you some of the bad, but it's a storybook. It doesn't show you how you got there. It doesn't tell Iris that she's happy in some of these moments. And that leads back to the apprehension about the whole Cat Grant thing. Yes, Allegra was saying, "Oh yeah, this is what Bart and Nora are talking about in the future." How do you know that's how they got there? Because it's not Iris getting there on her own. That's not her building it up. That's Cat Grant offering to buy you out, basically, and boost you up that way. A lot of business people that start their own businesses, they don't want to do it that way. And Iris has always been a person to work for her own stuff. And I get that, and I dig that, and I support that decision. Guys, you know how I do in my reviews. I like to jump around. I don't like to follow a distinct script. I did this with the season finale review for season 8. If you want to go over there and check that out as well and boost those a little bit more, I should just make a flash playlist. That way they could all be in order. I think I'm gonna do that. But we get a Cat Grant name drop within the first few minutes of the episode, because yes, she is offering Iris a major, major opportunity. And this is Iris's first day back at the Citizen. So it's just a lot to take in. And then she realizes that morning Barry said, "Just say yes." Barry knows about this because of the map book. And in that proposed future, I'm guessing Iris does say yes. Why she said it then, I don't know. But I mean, at the same time, Barry shouldn't have been so insistent on that. We found out that she wins 2 Pulitzers as well, so way to go for Iris. But now she might win even more. She might win more, guys. I'm rooting for that. So we get a Cat Grant name drop in this part of the episode. Later on in the episode, we also get a Kara name drop, because when the day first repeats, Allegra adds that little nugget in. Barry is, shockingly applying for a promotion to be the head of the CSI division of CCPD. Now, I find it hilarious because Barry is never at work, and it also seems like he's the only CSI. So would he be, his own boss? No, I get it though. And rightfully so, the first time he gets it. But when the time loop resets, he doesn't get it. And then he's getting all, aggressive with Kramer, like, "You're supposed to say yes. The book says you say yes." She doesn't know what in the world he is talking about and tells him he needs to watch his tone and get going. Now, before this whole time jump thing, we meet, no, not time jump, time loop thing, guys. I'm just excited about this episode, guys, so you got to excuse me. We meet Owen Mercer. And basically, Owen is one of those like kids that got bullied in school, except now he got bullied in prison. I wish we would have found out what he did to get in there in the first place. But he got bullied in prison, got out, got some tech, became Captain Boomerang #2. And, you know, he's doing something. He's stealing from Core Technologies, from Core Industries. He throws boomerangs at Barry. Barry, rightfully so, dodges them, and that whole action set piece was beautiful. It seemed to me like Barry was purposely running in front of the boomerangs. That way he could just dodge them. But, so Barry, he does his wind up, which he doesn't have to do, but Barry's a show off. He does a wind up, runs up the building like he did with Godspeed, except this time he didn't break the glass. He throws a lightning. Captain Boomerang throws up a force field that blows Barry back. Barry decides, okay, we're just going to let him go because I have dinner plans with Iris. I guess it's not meant for me to catch him today. We now know that he's saying that because of the map book. So we find out that the dinner does not go well. Iris just wants to go to bed because that's when Barry springs the whole thing on her about, becoming pregnant in 3 years and whatnot. And she's not okay with the idea of this book running their lives, which is what Barry basically wants to do. Let this book run their lives for them, follow it to a T. That way they don't have to worry about danger. Why? Because he keeps having this same recurring nightmare. When they go to bed, we see the little temporal particles floating from underneath the bed because they were on Barry. If Barry would have went back to Star Labs, Chester could have gave him a 1-over, and they could have figured that out and avoided this whole Groundhog Day situation. Now, Iris goes back to the Citizen the next day. Not even the next day, guys. You know what I mean? The same day, thinking it's the next day. She's thinking she's having deja vu, but then she realizes she's reliving the same day. So then she says, Barry, what did you do? Rightfully so, because Barry has messed up time before. Found that hilarious. Now, like I already said, Barry's day is like, he's trying to figure out what's going on at the same time. Like, you already gave me the job. You're supposed to say yes. Why are you taking the job back? Not realizing that it's the same day. He goes back again to fight Owen Mercer after that. He dies. And then the timeline resets. They go back to the beginning of the day. I thought that whole sequence was amazing because when Iris showed up in Star Labs, Barry, did you time travel again? That was hilarious. That was hilarious. So once they figure out that they're in a time loop, they tell Team Flash. That's when Cecile says, "This is Groundhog Day," and basically saying like, that was a Cisco-esque moment because Cisco would be the movie guy that will reference things like that. And she's basically like, you guys really need to watch some TV. And I agree. Chester and Barry are trying to figure out a way to change it. They're trying to see what Owen was stealing in the first place to see if that had something to do with it. Every time they mess with this tech, they ended up dying. And every time Barry and Iris would wake up in bed, it would get funnier and funnier and funnier because Barry would wake up screaming because he would be the one in mortal peril. And even one moment, Iris wakes up and slaps him with the pillow. And it just kept happening and kept happening. And this could have gotten really campy and annoying, but it was hilarious each time. It kept you invested. That's what I liked about this episode. It kept you locked in and wanting more. Now, on the last time, which I presume is the 58th time, Iris is just like, you know what? I had it. I'm just going to chill. It ain't nothing I could do about it. I just decided I'm going to stay in. If I stay in, nothing bad can happen. I don't have to worry about the Cat Grant stuff. And in that moment, Barry thinks that that's the reason why they're stuck in this time loop and it might not have to do anything with the particles. That was insensitive on his part. He runs off. He has the conversation with Joe that we talked about. Joe sets him straight. He comes back. He burns the map book by, using a little finger gun and shooting some lightning in the fireplace. And, we get one of the sweetest moments in the entire episode. By me being a married person, I'm all for love and, being happy in marriage. We get a West Allen montage, something we have not seen in years, it feels like. They show up to the Citizen with bagels, just a big bag of bagels. I don't know who eats bagels like that. Bring me some donuts or something. Bring me an egg McMuffin. Bring me some McDonald's or something. But they're eating bagels, a big bag of bagels, like an insane amount of bagels, guys. And in that moment, Iris tells Allegra that she has talked to Sue. Sue is going to grant them the money so they can buy the Coast City Gazette and they will expand that way, thus giving them the future that Bart and Nora keep talking about. Iris is going to do it herself. She is appreciative to Cat Grant, to Kara, for the opportunity, but she wants to do it on her own. And I get that. And Barry agrees with that. So then after that, they go out, they have a date, they go swimming, we hear Barry talking about cannonball and he's geeking out about the cannonballs and stuff, and that's something I would do. I found that moment refreshing and hilarious. That's something I would do to my wife, geek out over like little kitty stuff like that. But then after that, it's time to go fight Boomerang for the 58th time. Or the third time. I don't really know how that was working, but it's the third time in the episode that we see. It's time to go fight him again. So Barry shows up, basically shuts down all the banter because he comes with help. He comes with Iris and, her handy dandy big repulsor cannon or whatever gun it is. It blew Boomerang back. And that made me laugh out loud because that man bounced over cars. It blew him back and then he sets off a nuke. Barry did the most amazing thing we have ever seen him do thus far. And he faced through a whole nuclear explosion. We see all the citizens, of Central City, fearing for their lives, but realizing that this explosion is literally phasing through them. This makes Barry one of the most powerful metas in this universe. He faced through a nuclear explosion, guys. Like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was geeking out in that moment. But then geeking out in that moment turned into me laughing somewhat because we got a Chegra kiss. And it was a kiss out of distress because they thought they were about to die. So where this goes, I mean, in that moment, they had the most chemistry that they ever did, I guess. I mean, it happened. We've been waiting for it to happen for like how many seasons now? It happened. Let's see where it goes, guys. That's all we can do. Let's just see where it goes. The episode is winding down. We get another Joe talk. Like, I've seen you do so many things in these past 9 years. I'm so proud of you. Yada, yada, yada. Iris goes to talk to Sue on the phone again. Then Barry walks out in a very, very dad outfit. Barry dresses like an old man, but he dresses like an old man in the comics as well. So after that, we find out that Joe wants to leave Central City, rightfully so. He's helping Cecile again. It's like he's been in the superhero game for a very, very long time, and maybe it's time to move on. We know Jesse L. Martin is leaving the show. He will be missed, but he will be here for like at least 5 or 6 episodes, give or take. And I will be watching his new show, which you all should you all should check it out as well. In that whole little ending scene, we find out Owen Mercer isn't working alone. Who is he working for? The second cliffhanger of the episode is Red Death. I wish they had the bat lightning. I wish he had the bat lightning. I like the whole, shadowy silhouette of her. I like the voice. I like the red lightning. Are they channeling the negative speed force, or is that just because of the suit? We don't know yet, but we will find out. But the very first cliffhanger that we got, very first cliffhanger, is it Caitlin? Is it Frost? No, it's a blue and brown haired version of them that sent out a distress call for Barry. Who is that? We're going to find out. If you like this review, if you like the episode, please, please, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the episode down below. Comment, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, tell me what you would have changed, and give me your rating. For me, this episode is a 9 out of 10, if not a 10 out of 10. Yes, I know. I never rank stuff that high, but I'm ranking this high because this was an amazing first episode, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store for me. I'm very excited. You all should be as well. And like I said, if you aren't a part of the Geek Drums Nation, what are you waiting for?